Hello and welcome back to Finbar Builds Tekkit City. Sorry it's been such a long time since I did an episode of one of these. I've just been distracted and other stuff, but today I grinded out like 5 hours, done 2 episodes, so I hope you enjoy it, guys. Enjoy like the videos coming up. I'm going to play a ton again tomorrow, so I should get a ton of my city done and get some awesome shit on the track. So here I'm building up what's going to be the food section of my factory, and this is in blue to keep like a clinical look, you know, clean. It's going to have a very different look to the rest of the factory because that's going to be full of dirty machines. This is going to be food produce. I'm going to have like nice fridges and stuff. I'm going to put ice everywhere. I'm going to it's going to look cool. I'm going to make everything like look really nice as well as being functional in this area. So I'm using hollow anti-covers, I think they're called, and they look really awesome when I show you around the other side in a bit. And I put like a ring of light here, and I'm doing this all blue. The rest of the factory is like green and grey and stuff, whereas this area is blue. And it looks quite nice. I'm just sort of breaking up the inside of the wall here. I end up messing this building up a bit with the roof and stuff, as you'll see later, because somehow I don't centre it quite right, and I was confused and my brain broke a bit, but it worked out alright in the end. So here we go, look at the outside. That looks goddamn cool. I never thought to use that effect before, but it really works. I'm just sort of breaking up the outside here, as I normally do, with some polished stone posts, I think they are, or columns or something, and breaking it up, putting some glass in and some more columns. Look at that, it looks, I think the gaps in the light shine through just look amazing. It's just such a cool effect. And now I'm just sort of levelling out the inside, where all the food and stuff is going to be, and just building up the back wall and deciding how to design it. And the bricks are slightly different from the floor bricks in the rest of the factory, so I had to change how they looked a bit. And I was just sort of fiddling around here as normally do. I never actually have a plan of what I'm going to do, I just sort of start building straight away. And see where it takes me. So I don't know, I just have a pattern in my mind and I just sort of go for it. So all I knew is I was going to make this area blue. And now we're building the other wall. This wall's going to be different because it's facing onto the factory floor, whereas the other wall's facing out. So each wall of this has got a completely different design. I think every room of the factory I make has a completely different wall design for every single wall. So it's kind of a bit of a it's a very unique building once done. Well, it's not quite finished yet, but I've got most of it done. So here I'm just designing this wall which is going to face the inside the factory, and I'm going to build a big walkway onto the inside the factory, and you'll see that later on. So you can sort of walk around and see all the machines below. That's going to be awesome. Here I'm doing the hollow brick anti-cover thing again, and cover it with blue lights. You can see it from the inside of the factory. But I decided to, rather than having like a 3 wide weird chunky block thing, I decided to break it up and like have it in like sections. It looks much like neater. So I'm just leveling them out, and there you go. So it's in like 3 lines now rather than like a big chunk. It just looks, I don't know, it just looks more effective like that, I think. And it just lights up the whole area nicely. You have to have lamps because once the roofs are on at night time, it can get very dark. I don't want mobs spawning when my machines are on and stuff. Although I turn mobs off, I would turn them back on for PvP and stuff. Obviously, I don't want stuff blowing up everywhere. So lighting is kind of key, and I think it works quite well. Here we go, so that's designed, and now we're designing the roof, which I messed up a bit and got confused because somehow the blocks along the top were one more than the blocks on the inside, which it was like the opposite TARDIS, and I was totally confused. But I managed to work it out in the end, and I mean, one block bit's slightly off, but it's hard to notice unless you look carefully. So here you can see on the left it's 5 wide and 4 wide, and my brain's just broken. I spent 20 minutes trying to figure it out. I level it all off and get it to work fine, and I make quite a unique roof. I sort of copied the design of the power plant a little bit, but I changed it up. Actually, I put stairs in here, you see, so it's like raised up, so it's not completely flat, because a flat roof just looks hideous. So that's what I'm doing here, and I fill it in with glass, and the middle centre in with glass as well. And once I decide, like, I tried to put fence posts to break up even more, but I decided they don't fit. They don't really match the theme, so I think I do that now, yeah, and I take them away afterwards. They don't really suit. And then I start building the other section of the roof, which again, what do I do here? I'm just playing around with stairs and stuff again. Oh yeah, I make the centre bit raised up this time rather than the outsides, and cover this in stone bricks, I think. And then I put a strip of light down each of those outer bits down the centre, and I put panelling on each side, I believe, because glass wouldn't work due to the fact that you could see the red alloy wire and I didn't want that. I messed around with polished stone covers for a bit, beside they look crap, and then go back to stone covers. And I mimic it on the other side, because I got the red alloy wire on the wrong side. I put fence post down the side, and this is where you can see they're slightly off, because when I put fence post back down the other side, it's one further across the outside, if you can see from the light, the green light, and that's because the roof's not actually quite right, but it's fine. So now we're going to inside of the factory, covering over the lights with panelling and bricks, and then we start to build the the balcony there. And you can see those anti-covers and the light shining through them. It just looks really, really cool. It's a very good effect. I never thought to use it before. I'm going to use it a lot more now I've known about it. And here I'm just using fence posts and using it so they don't connect. So I think that's a cool way of putting a guide rail without having like all the blocky posts in the way. And this goes all the way around the outside of the factory, so I'm sort of just laying out the edge of it right now, the entirety of around the edge of the factory. So just stretching it out. So this is where you can walk along. It's like an embankment and look over all the machines, and it is going to be filled to the brim. It's just going to be filled with everything. What endless wonder. Quote from Warehouse 13 there, if anyone's ever watched that. And this, as you can see now how big this is going to be. The scale of it is just absurd, to be honest. So here we go. I'm just filling out the flooring here, and it does take a long time. I don't completely fill ceiling. I just did the balcony this episode, and the rest of it I pretty much do next episode. So now we're going into the side chambers, and this is where like all the military grade stuff is going to be arranged. So which is why it's darker, more defense looking, and also more like sturdy. Basalt I think looks more sturdy than just stone bricks, if that makes sense. It looks hardy. I also use iron, and what else do I use? What other bricks? Reinforced glass. In case of any explosions, there's going to be a testing area. Highly explosive materials coming here. There's going to be security guards and stuff, making sure people don't steal weapons. And this stuff's going to be like teleported into the armory, which is going to be full of tanks and machine guns and all kinds of awesome stuff. So that's what I'm going to build after everything in the factory is complete, and that's going to be awesome, along with houses and stuff as well. I might do houses before I do the armory, but both are going to be insane. With the armory, I'm also going to build a massive what was I going to build? Like a big massive rail gun that looks like a laser on top of the mountainside to like fight off, I don't know, enemy attacks and stuff. I'm sure there would be some in a post-apocalyptic world. And also just because it looks goddamn cool. So here I'm obviously just building up the rooms. No like wall on this side of the room looks the same. So I'm just messing around. Panels make so much difference. You can do so much with just panel blocks and normal blocks. Like I barely use that many different blocks really in this. I like the way that iron connected textures work though. So it's just like it's one big pane rather than the split up ones, which I like. Sometimes you want split textures, but for that I can just use panels because I don't actually have it. So here I'm doing reinforced glass at the back, just breaking it up, deciding how I want it. Breaking up walls is so important for a good looking room. You can't not do it. I mean, people fail so much with building because they fail to break up big flat surfaces, and it just looks hideous. Like no room I think in anything I've built so far has been flat. Not a single one, and it just makes so much of a difference. So here we're just filling in the back walls, and see, not even that bit, like just little details in and out, up and down, side to side. It makes a difference. So we are more lighting. This room needs to be filled with lighting. It looks quite menacing in green. It's kind of like the power plant, but it's not. It's similar style. I'm putting iron in there. I just had to get rid of that after a while because it's just gaudy. It doesn't work with the outside. I'm also making sure that the outside is also different because at the moment it looks hideously bland. You'll see how much of a difference just adding piles and sticking out jutting bits and stuff makes a difference. So I'm using iron posts, I think there. Some more lighting to break it up a bit. Putting all that in and making sure it doesn't sharpen the inside. It's like paneling it over, which adds even more depth to the inside actually, so it's kind of a good thing. And some panels there, and then I get rid of all that iron because it doesn't fit. And what do I replace it with? I think, is it glass? Yeah, I put some glass in here. And I think that's the back done, yeah. And now we're going into the side wall, where I do another completely different pattern. I was considering making this guy out into the like a shipping unit outside, but I figured probably best not to. You don't really want people being able to just waltz into your explosive chambers, so I end up just having it as a solid wall. And again, fiddling around with lights, because this room does need a lot of lighting. It's actually quite a big space. And once I've done that wall, I think it's pretty much done. I'll just do the outside of it. I think the outside of this wall looks the best actually out of all of them. So another block of iron. Oh, and you don't get to see it, but there we go. I think I'll do it at the start of the next episode actually, sorry. So here we go, the food plant, which I think it looks really awesome, that side of it. This is like the nice looking front section, and then we're going to get to the dirty back section as well later on. I just think the roof looks really nice, even though it's slightly off center. That block's missing because for some reason it's not rendered on Rory's camera. I don't know why. We're going inside now. Obviously this will be a lot more filled up later, and this will be filled with like a big ton of bread making machines and nice freezers and all kinds of cool looking stuff. I'm going to do a lot of stuff for aesthetics with this section rather than just pure working. So we go through here, then we head out into the factory, and what's made of the factory so far. Oh, obviously got to cover up the red alert wires on the roof, so I didn't get around to doing that. So here's just the general skeleton, and you can see this is going to be full. This is going to be full of stuff, so you get a glimpse of like what we're going to put in here. It's just going to be insane. And then into the military chamber number 1. This isn't finished yet. I've put the roof on and stuff in the next episode. Finished the chamber to the left and added stuff to the walls, so I think it looks pretty good. Just having a glance at the inside, and you see every wall is completely different. And now we have a scour around the outside walls. See, this back wall's not done yet. It looks pretty hideous. We do that next time, and it looks much better for it. I think this wall looks pretty good here. Nice and structured, and this one gets covered up by this room as well when we build this next to it, so you don't see any of that anyway. But you can see the scale of it, like compare it to the power plant just to the right, and look how much bigger it is. It's just insane. It's like 4 times the size. So please come back, please subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.